If you have access to listen to calls on Mitel's call recording system or ASC POWERplayWeb, and if you're new to the system or you're struggling with how to search and find recorded calls, then you're in the right place. Over the next several minutes, I'm going to show you how to get POWERplayWeb set up. I cover a lot of information and I do it quickly. You may need to watch the video more than once, slow down the playback speed, or have your finger on the pause button. Try to follow along as I go. By the end, you should understand how to configure different search patterns that will work in your environment and know how to adjust the view of the search results to show the information that you need. In this video, I do not cover how to play back the recorded calls returned from your search or how to monitor active calls. You may need to search for other videos that cover those topics. Let's begin with some basic assumptions. I'm creating this video in 2025 and using version 7.3. Past versions have looked similar. Next, the website to access POWERplayWeb may be different in every environment. Your website is very likely different than the website I am showing in this video. The website name is case sensitive. When spelling POWERplayWeb, the word power will be all uppercase. The word play will be lowercase. The word web will have a capital W. Also, I'm assuming that you know your username and password. Highly secure environments may be configured with a combination login so that multiple people need to enter their credentials before listening to a recorded call. For this video, I am demonstrating a single user login. I'll enter my username, my password, and then log in. If you cannot get to your login screen or cannot log in, reach out to your support organization for help. Those topics are beyond the scope of this video. Now, if you've logged in successfully, you should be all set. Let's take a sneak peek into what you should expect when you've completed this video. Maybe there's a call you need to listen to. You know the approximate date range, you know who dialed, or maybe you know who answered. After logging into POWERplayWeb, you'll access the Search by Participant search pattern that you've learned to create during this video. You'll quickly adjust the date range, the phone number, and then start your search. Some seconds later, POWERplayWeb has narrowed it down to just a few possible calls. Again, maybe you're looking to improve your organization's efficiency. You want to know why calls are being transferred back and forth between departments, or maybe you're interested why callers need to be placed on hold for long periods of time. You set your search pattern to Search by Hold Duration, which you'll learn to configure during this video. Your search pattern narrows down the calls to those few instances that are consuming the most labor from your team. Of course, you'll learn more than these two examples, but this video does not cover playback, and this short explanation will hopefully add some context as you're creating search patterns. There's one final thing before we start. On the left side of POWERplayWeb, you see a little side panel with your name. You'll use this panel to log off when you're finished. You'll use this panel to select your module, either the conversation view or the participant view. But once you've selected your view, you will not need this panel open again until you log off. So for now, let's click on the conversation view and then close the panel. If you need to get the panel back, click the collapsed menu icon. But for now, we can just keep it hidden, which saves screen real estate. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. If you look for the green button that says Start Search, and then move your eyes to the right, you'll see where it says Configure Search. Click Configure Search. A side panel will open. At the top, there is a drop-down to select a search pattern. By default, your system's administrator can control the default search. In my case, that default is set to show all calls made within the past 14 days. Your default search may look the same, or it may be a little different. You may also type a name of a new search pattern that does not yet exist in your drop-down list. For now, let's type Search by Participant. PowerplayWeb has options to narrow your search criteria to search by the person that dialed, what PowerplayWeb calls a calling party. There is an option to narrow your search by the person that answered, what PowerplayWeb calls called party. And if your telephone calls are transferred, you can also focus in on just the first connected party. In our case, let's not worry about the nuance. If a person was a participant, whether they dialed, whether they answered, transferred, conferenced, whether they were the first connected party or the last, we don't care. If a person was somehow involved with a telephone call, we want to find that call. So we'll close the category called Conversation Information and open the category called Participant. For now, let's select Participant Phone Number. And for the type, let's select Contains. We could use equals, but sometimes we may not know an area code. Contains seems the easiest default. When done, your search parameters at the top of the side panel should look like what I am showing on my screen. If they do, go down to the bottom and click Save. You've now created your first search pattern. Once you've saved your search, go back to the top of the search criteria. We're going to create a new search pattern called Search by Hold Duration. You can go ahead and enter that for the name of the search. This search is not going to look for a specific participant. We can eliminate that from the search. So next to the participant phone number, set it to Inactive. Once you have set the participant phone number to Inactive, the star located to the right of the criterion will be shaded in. Click the Shaded In star to remove that criterion. Where it says the start time period is the last 14 days, keep that. Next, expand the category called Statistics of the Conversation. A lot of businesses search for random calls as part of a quality control program, or maybe they have a specific call in mind when they search. But PowerplayWeb has a powerful way to search out problem calls. By using Statistics of the Conversation, maybe you focus on the phone calls that are getting transferred from department to department to department. Maybe you want to search for calls with a long duration. In this case, we're going to search for calls that have been put on hold for an unusually long time. In the category called Duration of Hold Sections, change it to be greater than. Next, you'll need to set a value. Let's try 5 minutes. The time is formatted as hours, minutes, seconds, and then parts of a second. So to enter 5 minutes, your entry should read 00:05:00, and then 3 zeros. You can always change this value later, but if a 5-minute hold is normal in your environment and 10 minutes is the outlier, then use 10 minutes. Or if a 3-minute hold in your environment is unusual, use 3 minutes. The goal is that when you use this search, you will find a handful of calls, but only a handful. And by listening to that handful of outlier calls, you'll be able to recognize a pattern, something occurring in those calls that will lead you, as a manager, to an opportunity of improving operational efficiency. When your search pattern looks similar to my example, scroll down to the bottom and click Save. You've now configured your second search pattern. For your third search pattern, move back to the top of the Search Criteria side panel. Type Search by Conversation ID. For this search pattern, we begin by removing all existing search criteria. Next to Start Time, change Period to Inactive. And next to Duration of Hold Sections, change Greater Than to Inactive. Towards the right, click each of the shaded stars. Now, a word of warning. If we ran the search like this, it would be searching for all recorded calls. Notice that as is, we have no parameter setting the participant, no parameter limiting the time. It is a wide open search. Our search results would be slow, and depending on how many calls were recorded, we would needlessly bog the system down. Never run an empty search. In this case, we're going to expand the category called Conversation Information. The first criterion is for the conversation ID. This is a unique identifier to each recorded call. If you ever find a call and then need to reference it again later, or if you need to have a coworker, human resources, or your legal team listen to the same call, this is where the conversation ID comes in handy. Since we will know the exact conversation ID, we will set this to equal. Once your screen looks like mine, scroll down to the bottom and save your third search. A moment ago, I warned of searching for all calls, but you can search for all calls within a short time period. To do this, scroll to the top and type Search by All Calls. Using the process you've learned, remove all the existing criteria. Expand the category for conversation information. Find the criterion called Start Time. Set it to period. Select a default period, for example, today, last 7 days, or last 14 days. This search can be used to find all calls that you have permission to find within that short window of time. When your search looks like my example, scroll to the bottom and click Save. Some of you may be struggling with the Save option. If your monitor resolution and font scaling is set a certain way, the option to save may fall outside of the viewable area. To get around this, collapse any open search categories. When each category has been collapsed, you should be able to see the option to save down at the bottom. So far, we've created 4 easily reusable search patterns. Search patterns that work for most business needs. But I'd like to show you some additional configurations. These may or may not work in your particular situation. You'll be shown how to edit them or delete them later on if they do not work for you, so go ahead and give it a try as you follow along. Scrolling to the top, I'm going to change my search name to Search by My Team. Maybe my permissions allow me to see various people in my organization, but I only want to see the recorded calls of my few direct reports. Maybe I'm responsible for the accounts of our platinum customers, and I want to create a search focused on only those calls. Maybe I had a few new hires, and until their training is complete, I want to be monitoring calls from these individuals more closely. In this particular use case, I only want to see the calls answered by my team, not necessarily the outbound calls dialed by my team. I will expand the category named Called Party Information. I'm going to set the criterion named Called Party Last Name. I'm going to select In. From here, I can begin typing the last name of each of my direct reports. After typing each name, I click the addition symbol. If I want to remove a person from the list, I select or type their name and then click the subtraction symbol. In much the same way, maybe I want to regularly monitor all calls except those of my executive team or those individuals that I have access to listen to but that are not on my team. I type the name of my search pattern. I'm going to select where the called party last name is not in, and then I will begin listing each name that is not on my team. Now, names are not usually the best way to search. I can enter multiple phone numbers or multiple extensions using the same method of in or not in. Once you have your search configured, this time it's going to look a little different than my screen, but when you're ready, go ahead and click Save down at the bottom. The last search we're going to create will be named Test Search. With this search pattern, I'm not going to give specific instruction. It's temporary. In a little while, I'll show you how to edit searches, and we will delete this test search. Go crazy. Expand the categories. Look at the options available to you. Add some items, modify them, set them as inactive, and remove them. As you're searching, let me give a last hint. Remember our search called Search by Hold Duration? What if, instead of saying hold time was greater than 5 minutes, What if we asked for all calls with a hold time equal to 5 minutes? If we did that, we would have 0 results. Some calls may be on hold for 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Other calls may be on hold for 5 minutes and 1 second. And even if a call was on hold for 5 minutes, 0 seconds, it would not match. It would not be equal. Well, why is that, you ask? Because it was most probably on hold for 5 minutes, 0 seconds, and 137 thousandths of a second, which is another way of saying not equal to 5 minutes. The point is that if you get unexpected results, start over with one of the basic searches we just created. Then, starting from that template, slowly and thoughtfully add more search criteria as needed. Remember to hit save on your test search. And when you're done, close the search criteria side panel. Once you have these basic templates set, it's possible that you will never need to change them. The searches are specific to your login. Each unique login has its own searches. And do you remember when we first logged on and selected the conversation view before closing the left side panel? The searches you created are unique to the conversation view. If needed, you can follow the exact same process by creating search templates in the participant view. If you find that you need to edit a search template, click on Configure Search. From the drop-down at the top, select the search that you want to modify or delete. Make any edits needed. As desired, click Save when finished. And if you want to delete a search template entirely, scroll to the bottom and select Delete. You'll have one warning prompt asking you if you're sure before you delete the template. As you can tell, there are a lot of search options in POWERplayWeb, and being creative, you can come up with some very interesting filters to find the recordings you need. If you have a favorite search that I didn't include in the video, I would encourage you to share it in the comments. Before wrapping up, here's one last hint. If you're searching without success, try using your Search for All Calls search that we configured. Scroll left and right through the results. Take notice of what fields are populated, what fields are empty, and whether you can find a field that will be useful in your search. Every business is different. It is normal that many of the fields will not apply to your specific situation. If you've found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Your feedback lets me know of your interest and how I can improve content. It also helps the search engines understand whether content is relevant and whether it should be shared with others. The scope of this video was limited to creating search templates in POWERplayWeb. For information about adjusting your view, playback of recordings, and other topics, search the other videos that I have available.